And of course, our data, our personal data, is protected by the Data Protection Act, or is it? Because in the very near future, it's not going to be anymore, as we'll come on to in a second. But the first thing I want to say about the Data Protection Act is my argument has been, for as long as I can remember, that the Data Protection Act actually was never about protecting our personal information. It was about creating a register of databases so that at some point in the future, since it was established, whoever wanted to get access to data knew where they could go to get access to particular data, and we would start to see databases being merged when it was convenient. So it should come perhaps as no surprise then that the government has issued this. This is all about combining vehicle data creates safer roads. Police, says the government, need to be able to identify the most high-risk vehicles on the roads, those which are uninsured or which do not have a valid MOT or vehicle tax. But this data is held by separate organisations and is not easily cross-referenced. So they say National Policing Initiative Operation Tutelage compares automatic number plate recognition data with information from the motor insurance database to identify drivers who do not have insurance. Tutelage Plus checks whether vehicles have valid MOT certificate and whether vehicle excise duty has been paid through checks against DVSA and DVLA databases. So they're starting to merge these databases together and be able to query these databases at the same time. Now, this might seem like a reasonably minor issue in terms of road traffic incidents, but of course this is only the beginning. And this kind of thing we're going to see spreading right across government. The question is, who's behind this? And the answer is this lot. So this is the ACE, powered by Vivace. Let's have a look and see who this is. Oh, just before we do, we should mention that the Accelerated Capability Environment, ACE, is already in bed with Ofcom over online safety and censorship and so on. And in fact, this little project, this little organization, which is part of a much bigger organization, as we'll see in a second, is into all kinds of areas of government at the moment. So merging the databases for driving offences is just one of the aspects of this. But who is behind the Accelerated Capability Environment? Well, it's QinetiQ, which of course is a defence contractor. So we're now into defence, looking at our personal data, managing our personal databases, and so on. So this is a Vivace framework. Let's see what they have to say about this. The Accelerated Capability Environment solves rapidly changing digital challenges facing law enforcement and national security agencies. So let's bring the spooks in as well. We bring together expertise from industry and academia to innovate collaboratively and create mission impact at pace, typically weeks and months rather than months and years, typical of large delivery programs. And of course, you might say that there are parallels to vaccine development with this type of thing, because we're all into making sure things are only taking weeks or months rather than months or years these days. We are a home office capability within the Homeland Security Group that was founded in March 2017 with an initial priority of helping solve frontline challenges in areas of communications data and lawful intercept. Now, I don't know how many people are even aware that the UK has a Homeland Security Group. But now you are. So that's that part of it. But then we have new data protection legislation or data removal of protection legislation on its way. We've talked about this before, but let's just bring you up to date with it. This is the Data Protection and Digital Information Bill, and that's currently in the House of Lords at the committee stage. And so it's well through its progress through Parliament. And what's this all about? This is all about enabling AI. That is what this is about 100%. So let's just look at the various aspects of this. So first of all, this legislation provides a wider scope for public authorities to refuse subject access requests. So if you believe that your data has been used inappropriately, this particular legislation will make it much more difficult for us to find out how our data has been used by public authorities, and they'll have much more scope for refusal for giving that information out. It enables solely automated decision-making. So this is AI into the public sector, making sure that agencies, whether that be HMRC or whomever, are making automated decisions. Perhaps this is heading into the courts as well. We know that AI is heading into the courts, but this legislation enables that. Lesser requirement for a proper impact assessment. So the current data protection regime is saying that any kind of use of data needs to be necessary and it needs to be proportionate. And this legislation removes that protection in many ways. It enables international transfers of personal data because many of these large AI companies are international, of course. And so our personal data, which can't currently be exported to the United States, for example, will be able to be exported to the United States under this legislation. But this is, again, the most worrying aspect of this. It gives the Secretary of State broad powers to amend data protection laws via statutory instruments. So again, we have secondary legislation being used to basically, within the primary legislation, it becomes an enabling act that allows the Secretary of State to do whatever the heck he likes in the future. This is extremely dangerous, and this whole data protection regime needs to be dealt with. It's not too late still. It's still only in the House of Lords. It is a committee stage. There's still opportunity to stop it if we get organised around that. So keep an eye on this.